You can tell when your car battery's dying. But with your water heater, you'll never know until it starts leaking. Before you buy another tank, consider a Navien tankless water heater. No storage tank to heat or leak. Lower energy bills and endless hot water for spa-like comfort. All backed by Navien's strong warranty. If your water heater is over 8 years old, it's time to check out Navien at tanklessmadesimple.com.
Count on Navien.
Hey, this is BJ. Thanks for listening to our show's podcast. If you're a fan of all things geeky, you should check out my other podcast, BJ Shea's Geek Nation. We have new episodes every day, and you can check it out at bjgeeknation.com.
Your home is going into foreclosure and you feel like a financial wreck. You don't know where to turn for accurate information. I'm bankruptcy attorney Travis Gagne. Let's talk about some legal options. If we work quickly, we can propose a plan to save your home, modify the loan, or in many cases even eliminate your second mortgage. The consultation is free. I've helped hundreds of people just like you make informed decisions about whether to save their home or exit it on a reasonable, organized timeline. The chapter you choose sets the tone for the next chapter of your life. Please contact me today at choosetherightchapter.com. That's choosetherightchapter.com.
99.9 KISW, The Rock of Seattle. Steve, I'm very excited. I think I found myself on a very affordable caterer for Sarah's wedding when it happens.
Oh, well, is it happening?
I don't know if it'll happen, but, she talks about wanting to have, a nice fancy wedding, and I'm like, I'm not doing that.
Have they had the conversation? Do you know? Because
I have no idea.
Because my wife and I, we talked about, okay, one day we're going to get married. You have those conversations. I already knew it in the back of my head that when the time came to propose, she was going to say yes. So maybe Sarah, come in here. I would love to know.
Oh, wow.
If they've had the big marriage talk yet.
Yeah, I have no idea if it's happened or not.
And have they had the talk sober? That's there's two questions.
I don't think they ever have any conversations sober.
No?
No.
Hello, Sarah.
Oh, hey.
There she is.
So have you and Johnny Rubbers, or J-Rubs as the kids call him, had the marriage conversation at any point yet?
Oh, hell yeah, we have.
What? Really?
Oh, yeah, we're coming up 2 years. And I'm getting old. Let's get real.
Yes, this is the guy.
All right.
Who instigated the conversation?
Probably her.
When
are you going to marry me?
Yeah.
Give me some more box wine.
Yeah. I don't know, because we kind of did it early on, like way earlier than, I kind of want to admit. But I don't want to jinx it.
Less than 5 months?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah. That is really trippy.
Oh, I know.
Have you had the conversation since then?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. But I don't want to jinx it. So when people tell me, like, oh, do you think he's the one? Do you think you're going to marry him? I don't want to say yes and then us break up and I kind of look like a fool, because I have friends who do that. Like every relationship they have, they think they're going to marry the guy, and then they break up, and then they get another one, they think you're going to marry the guy. And you're like,
that's a very nice goal to have. Why would you be in a relationship with someone like you think you're going to marry someone? I'm like, no, this one's good for maybe 6 months.
I mean, some girls are like that, though. Like, oh, I think he's just, he's a fun guy to hang out with and sleep with, but...
We're looking at you, Vicky.
I never call him my boyfriend, though.
That's true.
Okay.
If she ever calls someone her boyfriend, that's when we gotta be like, oh boy,
this is serious.
She might be pregnant.
Yeah, that's what I would think.
I mean, I'd like to argue, but you're right.
So that has been talked about.
Oh yeah, we've talked about marriage and we've talked about kids. First, yeah, we have 2 kids. I want a boy first, so if a girl comes out, we're putting it back up or giving it away or something. Jeez. Boy first, 2 years later, a girl. Yep.
You realize you're going to have like 5 girls now, right?
I know.
Just going to keep cranking out girls.
You know what's going to be the worst is I think twins are really creepy. And I went to a psychic one time and she thinks I'm going to have twins.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. So.
No, I'm going, oh, gosh. I feel bad for J-Rubs before he's even married. Like, this is his life.
Yeah, but watch me have twins. That will be my worst nightmare.
Is there any twins within your guys' world?
Yes.
Are there?
Dude, I grew up with them.
Who?
Come on, Frank.
No, he means related in our family.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No.
We all know twins.
Yeah, we all know.
Twins run in my family, so there's a good chance that I will pop out, too.
You know what doesn't run in our family, Steve?
We have twins on both sides of mine and my wife's side.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
You know what doesn't run in our family? Rhodes Scholars.
No. IQ points. I don't think that runs in your family.
Is that like a smart person?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Good luck with your wedding.
Yeah.
Well, we don't know because we don't know your half. We don't know your side, so there could be.
Yeah, there could be anything, because I am adopted and I have no info, so you're right. It could be anything.
I hope not, though.
So have you guys talked about, like, catering and all that for your wedding?
Not really, actually. I mean, definitely an open bar.
Is it going to be vegan?
I don't. It's not, definitely not going to be vegan.
J-Rubs loves the meat.
He honestly, he'd probably kill me if I wanted to be a vegetarian. He probably wouldn't show up.
I didn't know this was turning into a Lifetime movie.
No, there's definitely probably going to be
The Missing Vegan coming soon
there'll be
to
meat.
Lifetime.
If anything, J-Rubs will be grilling himself because he can grill.
Whoa! Has anyone ever had a wedding or a marriage on their wedding? The groom is just grilling food for
I
everybody.
think that is an awesome idea, Sarah.
That could be the greatest wedding ever.
So we got to do this.
It sounds great. But
Not going to happen.
the grill would get more attention than I would, and I wouldn't like that.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, great. See,
What if we put it in an ugly dress?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that's a great idea, too. Yeah, the grill could be a bridesmaid.
That would be his best man.
That would be his best man right next to him.
Opens it up. That's where the ring is.
This is an excellent
Right next
idea.
to the ribs.
Okay, no.
This is the
I'm
way
out.
I'll pay for this. I would pay for that
I'll
wedding.
chip in.
Yeah, everybody chip in, Sarah. This would be great.
I'm not taking that ring unless it's next to some vegan ribs or something. Okay?
All right, we'll put a tofu dog on the grill.
All right, I'm in now.
For you and my wife. That way you guys have something to eat.
Yeah.
Well, if you and J-Rubs do decide that this is a real thing, I've got the perfect caterer. I'm very excited to because I feel like this one's going to be affordable. But we have to get him from the Philippines.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Everything's cheap there.
Everything. Well, I could see why. There was a bridal couple and just had their caterer arrested.
Oh.
And I didn't know you could arrest somebody just because of the fact they didn't do the wedding the way they were supposed to. Now, granted, this caterer definitely was he's probably an inspiration to some. There was no food at this wedding, even though they were a caterer. He didn't bring any food. And the bottom half of the wedding cake was just frosting over styrofoam. Love this guy.
Yeah, one job. Bring food and cake.
Yeah.
In all fairness, though, like I know with our cake, I can't remember anymore, but sometimes they do just part of the cake is actual cake and the rest is styrofoam, but then they have sheet cake in the back.
Yeah.
And they just kind of serve that.
Oh, I thought this was just he was saying, here's your cake, and that's it.
No, I think you're right. That's what happened here, but I know that maybe he just forgot the sheet cake.
Oh, well, he forgot the rest of the food. Here's the audio taken when the bride and groom tried to cut into their cake. Oh, this is not. I mean, when the bride is crying at her wedding, that
sounds like Nancy Kerrigan.
Yeah. I mean, look, I think sometimes bridezillas are just a pain in the neck, and I think we've got a country of them. But you don't want to see a bride crying at her wedding. You're supposed to get that right.
Man, though, I would love to watch, typically when people film their weddings, I'm like, who wants to watch this? But I would love to watch that moment when she first cuts into the cake and it's just styrofoam.
Oh, yeah. The problem is I love a good piece of cake when I'm watching drama, and I wouldn't be able to get one.
Just scrape the frosting. The frosting's the best part, right?
I agree with you that, at least he brought the important part of the cake. If I had to miss part of it, the cake or the frosting, I would say, okay, hold the cake.
Oh, how about Danimal just texted in, which is a great name. I would imagine it's really Dan, but Danimal. He chimes in and says, my dad and I grilled brisket and pork roast for my own wedding. We actually cooked all the food.
Well,
that's awesome.
At the wedding or beforehand?
That maybe they did it beforehand and had it all brought in, but still, that's pretty awesome.
I'm telling a tux, an apron that looks like a tux, and J-Rubs is cooking in that bad boy. Come on, Sarah, do it.
No, I'm going to get it catered.
How about this one? My wife's first husband worked for a seafood company here in Seattle, and when they got married in a park, and his boss flew down a bunch of fresh salmon on Alaska Airlines, and they did a big barbecue with the salmon and ribs.
Yeah.
Wow.
At the wedding.
Yeah.
Again, probably the groom didn't have to do it. See, that's what Sarah's objecting to is that, all right, so you don't mind.
I'm objecting to the whole grill thing.
Like, it's time for the first dance, and I'm like, no, he's cooking me a burger right now.
Yeah.
Leave your first dance. No, I don't want barbecue at my wedding. That'd be like the opposite of me. Come on.
Oh, man.
I mean, it's about us, but like,
I wasn't
think
going to
about how many sauces you could have. You are the sauce queen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you just grill up that tofu and put whatever sauce you want on.
Why won't you have your wedding the way we want? What's wrong with you?
Right. This is very rude.
BJ and Migs, mornings on The Rock, 99.9 KISW.
99.9 KISW, The Rock of Seattle. According to a new study of 229 people in the U.S. and Canada, when employees got voodoo dolls of their bosses and jammed needles into them, it actually made them feel less resentful about their jobs.
I think I'd rather a voodoo donut of my boss, and I could eat it.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Something.
I love that idea much better.
Oh, should we make voodoo dolls of our boss?
How are you going to get any hair off of him? Or any of you guys? Like, you need to use hair for a voodoo doll.
Do you really?
Yeah, that's
I don't think they're talking about a legit
Vicky.
voodoo doll,
Wow,
Vicky. Jeez.
I thought we were trying to be authentic here.
No, we are. You're right.
Vicky's going to go to New Orleans and get herself some black magic people.
I got some hair for you.
Damn.
Chest hair.
Yeah, I know, but like, that's exactly
works.
it. Like, if I didn't want you to know about it, how hard would it be for me to get your hair?
You know, you could ask me, and I probably wouldn't even think anything of it. And I would just give it to you. And
Like, Steve, can I get a few clippings of your chest hair, please? Thank you.
sure, why not?
Yeah, see, you're too easygoing. I would be so suspicious. Like, why do you want my chest hair?
Well, then if she responded by saying, I'm making a voodoo doll of you, I'd be like, oh, here, how much do you need? That's hilarious.
Yeah. How about this? Afterwards, after they did the old jamming of the needles into a voodoo doll of their boss, their quality of work went up as well. So if you're a boss, you should be handing out voodoo dolls of yourself at this point. And here's why. The researchers have said, okay, here's what's up. As weird as it sounds,
Yeah, it sounds really weird.
we found a simple, harmless, symbolic act of retaliation can make people feel like they're getting even and restoring their sense of fairness.
I can understand that.
Like, it's very eye for an eye, man.
But it's harmless. You're not really hurting the guy unless you believe in this, and then that's really creepy. If you believe in it and you're trying to hurt them with a voodoo doll, that's kind of off.
I'll tell you what.
But if a boss pisses you off and you curse them under your breath, or have you ever done that where like your boss or anybody in your life makes you mad, and as they walk away, you just flip them the bird, like F you. Like, I know it's not necessarily anything other than it just makes you it's getting it out of your system for a second.
So bizarre, man. And I don't know how I'd feel if somebody... I would really take it personally because I know there'd be tons of voodoo dolls of me, unless, of course, you guys already have them and I don't know about it.
Yeah, don't worry about that.
Well, somebody saying back in the 70s in Japan, they'd had stuff like this in a similar sense. They had a stress relief room with a large padded mannequin and a bunch of different blunt objects that you could use to take your anger out on the perceived whoever you wanted the mannequin to be.
So really, at the end of the day, we are base creatures that we just need an eye for an eye. I mean, as much as we're told not to do that, that actually makes us feel better.
That would kind of set me off a little bit if, like, let's just say you're a boss and your employee was like, I got to go in the stress room and I'm going to go beat up on the mannequin and pretend that it's you. All right, well, I'll talk to you later. Lunchtime, you want to go grab something to eat?
Have you heard there's an actual stress room here in Seattle you can go to? It's like Rage Industry or whatever. It's in Lake City Way.
No.
You go and just break
You
stuff.
buy Rick's?
Wow.
That's a good stress relief place.
Yeah, that's another stress relief place.
That's what you can do after. I mean, I guess before. But yeah, you just go into this room and you just break a ton of the crap.
Also, there's
That'd be fun.
There's an old school way of doing this too.
What's that?
And I
Beating
remember
up your boss?
I remember this from back in the day. No, a dartboard. That used to be always the joke. You know, have hey, is your boss? Is your face on a dartboard? They're saying if you actually get a dartboard with your boss's picture, that will work as well.
Yeah, I remember those days where you'd get a picture of somebody and you'd throw the darts at them.
Yeah, and that's actually another way to go about it. If it's not a voodoo doll, it's about sticking needles somewhere. Damn.
It's just putting some kind of fake, but like some sense of pain on the object that you don't like.
So the best job in the world must be acupuncturist, because you're needling everybody.
But you're not needling your boss.
Yeah, but maybe you're thinking that it's again, if it's a voodoo doll, what if you just go, oh, this looks just like my boss, this person that came in. Oh, yeah.
Then I'm going to have to be like, hey, how's your day going? How's your boss treating you today before you stick needles in me?
Yeah, really. Wow, how about that? So the old school dartboard, that's the way to go. That's an old traditional heritage thing.
But where do we put that
today?
here at work? I mean, what if, like, let's just say, I mean, we're lucky. Hair Club's awesome. But let's just say he wasn't. Isn't it going to be kind of weird if you walk by our office and you just saw a dartboard with his face on it with a bunch of holes?
Yeah, that's a good question. Maybe maybe you wait till you get home and you just have it in your man cave. And
that's true.
Which means you just have to be cool when you know the boss ever comes over. You got to take the dartboard out of the man cave
because the boss is coming over all the time.
It used to be a thing.
Not anymore.
I know. You always had to have your boss over to the house back in the day, and I know that I had to do that. I mean, it was part of my career when I got a new job. We had to have the boss over.
I invited our boss over to my house once, and he said no because it was the time when I was throwing a party and I invited everybody. It was my potluck party, and it was not your typical potluck. Well, you could bring food, but it was a bring pot or bring food party.
Yeah, that was a great party.
On April 20th.
I went to that, actually.
It was great.
Yeah, it was a fun time.
Yeah, it was the most chill party ever.
Yeah.
And I invited him. He goes, look, I appreciate the invite, but I'm your boss. I'm not coming to your pot party.
Yeah, he's right.
They're like, fine, you want to be a bad boss, then don't come.
Yeah, he's a smart guy. He's right. You can't be doing that.
Yeah. But I offered the invite.
So there's a tradition of like dartboards with your boss, a tradition of actually, inviting your boss over to the house. Mm-hmm. How about this tradition? Because a lot of these have gone by the wayside. How about this one? Do you wait for everyone's food to come out at a restaurant before you start eating?
Yes.
Absolutely.
100% yes.
So you guys still do that?
Yeah, it's rude if you don't.
I know you don't.
I was always told, I've stopped doing it because everybody kept telling me to stop doing it, especially like that was not the thing anymore. So it is a thing, or is it just
if personal preference?
Yeah, if it's like one person who is like, oh, go ahead and eat without me, then I'm fine with it, but I'm going to wait until that person says something.
Well,
even then I still kind of question if I should.
I honestly don't. I don't remember you guys doing that. I really don't. So I'm gonna have to pay more attention to you guys.
You're too busy eating.
It's very true.
Yes.
That's probably why I don't.
You just dig right in.
So I'm the rude guy at the table, and I didn't even realize.
Oh, you're on your phone. You're eating. You're that guy.
I'm that guy.
Yep.
Yeah, according to a new survey, 1 out of 6 people say, nope, I eat as soon as my food is served. Everyone else be damned. And I wasn't raised that way. I just thought society was changing. So it's like, why am I going to be the idiot waiting if no one else is?
The only time I wanted to not eat before everyone's food showed up was the time I remember I did one of those hockey challenges with the T-Birds. And afterwards, it used to be when they were at the Key Arena, it was really cool. Like everybody would then, and they still do, like a lot of guys will go like to the Ram at the Kent Station, but it was a lot more options in Seattle when the game was over. So we would go to a restaurant and all hang out and break bread, and it was a really good time. And there would be the celebrities would be there as well. And one time it was Tom Arnold, and I'll never forget it. And it was just such a weird thing. We're all sitting at the table waiting for the food, and my food showed up, and a guy leaned in and goes, "Hey man, don't eat your food yet." And I wasn't planning on it, but I was like, well, why? He goes, we have to wait until Tom eats first. So we had to all wait
until he actually took the first bite?
Yes.
What?
Yes.
What is that? I get eating at the same time out of courtesy, but you actually had to let him eat first?
And part of me thinks that it's either him or his person effing with everybody, but everybody waited until Tom put his fork in his food and put it in his mouth, and all of a sudden everybody else started eating. It was the weirdest thing. Like he was like Jesus, and we were the 12 apostles waiting for Jesus to eat.
I don't go for that.
It was weird.
That's very weird. I mean, that's... Wow.
And I don't know, again, it could be him just messing with everybody or his person.
Even still, it makes you look like a jackass. Of course, we have a great story to tell.
Yeah.
Maybe that's because Tom Arnold wants everyone to tell a story about him, and that's why he stays in the public eye.
But I mean, I spent the whole time because I was hungry, so I'm just staring at him. I'm like, stop talking and take a bite of your food, Tom.
Oh, I hadn't even thought about that. If he's regaling somebody with one of his stories, and you're like, dude, all of our food's here. Let's figure this out.
Oh yeah, he was sharing stories. He was great. He was super nice and everything. Like
except the eating thing.
Except for, I'm like, hey man, take a break in your story and just take one bite.
I would have Larry David that moment. I wouldn't care.
You, of course.
I would have Larry Davided that moment, no doubt about it.
But yeah, I'll always wait for everyone's food to show up before I start eating.
Yeah, 75% of the people are with you, Steve. Now I got to reevaluate because I wasn't raised that way. I don't want to let my parents down. And now I'm going to have to pay attention. I don't want to be the pariah at the table. I'll leave that to Vicky.
One person says in the military, the hostess always gets to take the first bite before everyone. So maybe it's a tradition thing.
Ah, well, see,
he was hosting in a sense. He was kind of the guy that we were all there, and he was kind of the guy.
See, now that I can appreciate. Mm-hmm. If it's a host thing and it's tradition, and
he didn't pay for my meal though.
Yeah, if that's the case, he's not hosting.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah,
or maybe everyone else got their meal paid for, but me.
See, I like that. The military's got some good traditions. See, man.
One person says, wouldn't it have been funny if you just went ahead and ate in front of him? And in retrospect, probably.
Yeah.
I wonder what would have happened.
Oh, yeah, that would have been awesome. That would have been
like, what if you just got up and left?
Could have been some good drama.
It would have been a total Larry David moment.
Oh, I would have done it. It would have been me. I would have been like, what do you mean I got to wait for him? He's talking to people. I'm hungry right now. My it's hot right now. No, I'm not waiting.
Don't you know it made it better if you took your fork and just took something off of his plate and ate it?
Oh, that's the thing that you hate.
Yeah.
You know what? I do both of you. I get 2 forks, one off your plate, one off his, and just see the battle.
Watch the drama happen.
Oh, that'd be so awesome.
Today's podcast was brought to you by Travis Gagne, bankruptcy attorney. Here's another question from a listener. If I can't afford to pay my bills, how am I going to afford attorneys and bankruptcy fees?
One of the things people ask me all the time as a bankruptcy lawyer is that how am I going to pay all these fees and costs because I'm here because I can't afford to pay my bills. And of course we understand that. I mean, being in the bankruptcy field, But one of the things to remember is that if you decide, once you make the decision to file bankruptcy, you can stop paying on all of the creditors that are going to be included in the bankruptcy, and those are the funds that you can use that you have been paying your creditors to pay your attorney fees and court costs to get your case filed. And once your case is filed, you're not going to have most of those payments anymore.
Thanks, Travis. If you have more questions about bankruptcy, you can reach out to Travis anytime at choosetherightchapter.com. That's choosetherightchapter.com. Thanks for listening.
You can tell when your car battery's dying. But with your water heater, you'll never know until it starts leaking. Before you buy another tank, consider a Navien tankless water heater. No storage tank to heat or leak. Lower energy bills and endless hot water for spa-like comfort. All backed by Navien's strong warranty. If your water heater is over 8 years old, it's time to check out Navien at tanklessmadesimple.com.
Count on Navien.